This poor chair.
Poor rugs. We do need new rugs. And we're live.
We do need new rugs.
With 13 minutes, the Cuban Missile Crisis, 1962. Designed by, I hate when they don't put the designer on the backs.
Jolly Roger?
No, that's the brand. It's Jolly Roger Games.
Yeah,
it's designed by Daniel Squadrol Peterson and Oscar Harding. Oh, it's the same designer as Moulin Rouge. No kidding!
Wow!
Wow! This
Thanks,
is
Internet.
perfect. This is the same designer as one of the designers that did this. Also did Moulin Rouge. So this is apparently an Asger Harding Ganrud night. So there we go. That works for me. Okay. So, this is a micro game about the Cuban Missile Crisis, and so it's pretty interesting because Twilight Struggle is a more involved two-player game about the Cuban Missile Crisis, and then
Cold War.
Cold War, sorry, and then 13 Days is also about the Cold War, focusing specifically on the Cuban Missile Crisis in the Cold War. Then 13 Minutes is an even closer zoom-in of the conflict of the Cuban Missile Crisis within the Cold War. And so that is what we're playing. There we go. I'm so happy it's hat season again, y'all. Like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, we're playing like one action of one turn of Twilight Struggle.
Yeah, basically. So, how this game is going to work is there are 3 influence zones, and actually, I didn't adjust the camera. Oh, I haven't tweeted about this either. Best bonus stream ever. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, so, there are 3 zones of influence. So, I am playing as the USSR. Steve is playing as the US, mostly because of the color of our shirts today.
Just like in history.
Yeah. Then, I have 13 influence cubes that are red. Steve has 13 influence cubes that are blue. This deck has 13 cards in it. What a coincidence.
13 minutes, 13 cards, 13 cubes.
Yeah. 13 is the number, apparently.
This is not a lucky game.
So, the 3 spheres of influence would basically be neutral, which is the center of the table. Then there's the USSR, which is over near me. And then there is the US, which is over by Steve. So, as we play the game, we will be moving cards in and out of our sphere of influence by placing cubes on them. So, when you place cubes on a card, it moves towards your sphere of influence. And when you take cubes off, they go away from your sphere of influence. So that is the part. That is somewhat interesting. But there are 13 cards, and one of these cards is put face down in the center. It counts as Cuba. So Cuba, and whoever owns Cuba at the end of the game will get 2 prestige points. Then the other cards have on the front of them, they are either red, navy blue, or they are like a light blue. And so the dark blue, the navy blue, that's the US cards. The USSR cards are the red cards, and then the light blue are UN cards. And so those are neutral, like event-based cards. When you play a card that is your faction, you have the option of doing the event or using it as a command card, which I'll talk about later. Or if you play a card which is your opponent's color, so if I was to play one of the US cards, Steve has the option of triggering the event before I take the command action, which is what happens here at the top. So, when I play a command card, if I play it as a command card, I get to allocate the quantity of cubes maximum, shown in the top of the header, which on this card is 2. And it becomes a new territory of...
It's a new battleground.
It's a new battleground. So I would place this, I can play it maximum up to 2 cubes on the battlefield, but I don't have to put them here. I could put them anywhere. So I could put 1 on Cuba and 1 on here.
Yeah.
So by putting 1 on Cuba, this would slide closer to me. So then, because I played that, before I actually assigned my cubes, Steve would have the option of playing the event if he wanted, because it's his card. Then Steve would go, things would happen. Then UN events, you just do what the event says. You have the option of doing what the event says or doing the command card, similar as if you had played it yourself. They're just kind of neutral cards. We are going to play until each of us has one card left in our hand. At the end of the game, that card will be put into our sphere of influence automatically at the end of the game, which could push us into nuclear war. There are symbols. So the yellow symbol with the number, that's the number of prestige points you get for having it in your sphere of influence at the end of the game. The other symbol is a nuclear symbol, and there are 3 colors: purple, green, yellow. Those are the 3 colors. If, at the end of the game, you have 3 cards with the same color nuclear symbol, you trigger nuclear war, and you lose the game.
There's also a campaign mode where you play to 13 prestige points, but if at any time you trigger nuclear war, you lose the whole campaign.
Yep. So at the end of the game, you will figure out who has the majority influence on each of the cards based off of the cubes on them. So, yeah, whoever dominates the most military backgrounds scores 1 additional opportunity. Blah, 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 blah. Yes.
What are military battlegrounds?
I don't know. I think they're just battlegrounds. You score 1 prestige for each battleground you dominate. So you dominate by having more influence cubes than your opponent, and then the tiebreaker is whatever sphere of influence the battleground is in. Then you flip Cuba to see who dominates Cuba. And then whoever dominates the most military backgrounds scores 1 additional prestige, which I think is just who dominates the most.
Maybe it's non-UN? I don't know.
Don't know. You don't talk about the breakdown of the cards? So, yeah. It's really exciting. Kabuki Kid, do you know? Nuclear. I say it how I want.
Nuclear.
Nuclear.
Sounds like an acne medication. Nuclear.
I feel like they're just battlegrounds. Battlegrounds. This is the only instance of the word military that I have read in this rule book. So, yeah. Hey, Nutters! Can we just play now?
Mm-hmm.
Great. I have to see how many cards to deal.
2 cards.
Okay, that's what I thought. You play a card, then draw a card. Ba ba ba! I think if you play a UN event as an event, it's just gone. Or is it put in as a thing?
If the what?
Oh no, when you play an event or a battleground or a command card, they both go into play. Okay. Oh, the yellow nuclear symbols are military, potentially.
I thought, because that would match...
Orange. Orange is military. That's right. Yep. Orange is military, which in this game is orange-ish yellow. There is no board with this game. This is 13 minutes to micro game. Alright, so on that note, who goes first?
The players who have most recently triggered... both players take any number of initiative cubes in their hand and reveal their bid simultaneously. The highest bidder decides turn order. Both the winning and losing bids influence cubes are removed. And then the winner decides turn order.
Oof. I will bid. If there's a tie, return all cubes and try again.
Is that what that? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm ready.
I'm ready too.
Yeah, is that your bid?
Yeah.
Mine too. Okay. I'm ready. Perfect.
Yep, that's what I figured.
Alright. Steve, who goes first?
You.
I go first.
Go first.
Ha ha ha!
Second player advantage.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
I can only hope.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm going to play as a U2 downed.
Oh no!
I'm gonna go here and here. Which means Cuba's mine. Ha ha ha! It's your turn. Yeah, I hope not. I hope not, Nutters.
I'm gonna play Moscow is Our Brain.
Ooh.
You have the choice of doing the event before I play it for command because it's Soviet, is that right?
Yes. Yes. So I could just put 4 on that one.
But does this become Battleground as soon as I play it? Because it's resolving the event, right?
Let me see. Well, when you play it as an event, it still counts.
Well, yeah, because I'm playing it as a... Is it a
It
Battleground?
instantly turns into a new Battleground.
No!
Ha 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 ha! I can place up to 4.
Yeah.
I will do 2. Zhonka. And now your command action
Where?
is 3
Oh,
cubes.
where do I play it when I play it? Does it always play to neutral?
I think it plays in yours. It doesn't specify. Oh, you can either place it in the neutral or in your own sphere. Would you like to place it in front of you?
I would like to place it in front of me.
Great. Every time you add a cube, it bumps. Boom, 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 boom. So, because I played a cube, but it's cubes, regardless of how many you... Yeah, okay. Great. So, it's in the neutral now.
And then now I can place my 3.
Yes.
And I think I want to go 1, 2, 3. Which does this.
Yes.
And then do I draw?
Yes.
Are you cute?
Yes.
Are you feeling lucky?
No. I will place Wave and Smile in mine.
Is there any reason why I wouldn't do the event?
Maybe you're gonna run out of cubes?
Right.
I don't know.
So Wave and Smile.
This is 13
President
minutes.
Kennedy, you're a cutie. Place up to 2 cubes on up to 2 battlegrounds. Cuba is mine.
Cuba is yours. And then I have 3 cubes to place. I will place 1 there, sliding that back. I will place 1 on Cuba, sliding that back. And I'll place another on Cuba! It's mine! I want Cuba. It is supposed to play in 13 minutes, yes.
U2 photographs.
So you're either going to play the event or the command.
So if I do the event, it's place up to 1 cube on a battleground and move that card 1 step towards or away. So I could place a cube which moves it towards.
And then you would move it again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's do that.
Okay, and you're leaving it in the neutral zone?
No, I'm doing it.
Okay. And then you just draw a card. I'm going to do Containment, which is place up to 3 influence cubes on a battleground where you currently have cubes. I will place 1 on Moscow, and I will place 1 on Cuba.
And like 13 minutes, or like 13 days, can we use the influence action to remove our cubes?
Yes. And you get them back. They're not discarded when you do that, yeah. I am having the worst luck at drawing, which means he is having the worst luck at drawing. Let's put our
I'm going to quarantine over here. Place up to 3 influence cubes on up to 2 battlegrounds where the USSR player currently has influence cubes.
Zena, why didn't you eat your dinner more?
Did she not?
I don't think she did. She didn't eat that much.
So it's somewhere where you currently have influence cubes. So I'll go 1 there.
Okay.
1 there.
Yeah.
I thought about that.
Great. Terrifying.
Redraw.
Okay, I'm going to do XCOM. So I'm doing it as a command action. So Steve, you have the option of doing the event if you would like. I'm doing XCOM over here.
Place up to 4 influence cubes on up to 4 battlegrounds where the US player currently has no influence cubes.
Yep.
I would like to place 1 on containment.
Great. I have 3 cube actions, so I'm going to go ahead and take 1 off of here, which means at the end of the game, you are causing nuclear war, sir. And then I will put 1 onto Cuba, slide it over, and then I have 1 more action. I will place it on containment. Place it on Moscow as our brain. Which is a weird name. Wait, why does containment have 1 of your cubes, but it's over here? Oh, you placed it and it would have moved, which means I'm going to take it back instead of putting it on the...
Oh, I think Cuba would have moved to the center, or did it?
No, it was in the center. I took it back. We are ping-ponging off of Cuba, or with Cuba. It's your turn. Da-da-da-da-da.
Can I do a remove and a place? I'm going to play MRBMs and IRBMs there.
Ooh, wait, remove up to 4 USS and include, place them onto their backgrounds. I will do that. I will take this one off, which slides it more to you, that's fine. And I will place it on here. Yes.
Yep, and then I will just use the action to remove 2, which pushes that to the middle.
Okay, draw a card.
This is terrifying.
This is the last round. I'm going to go ahead and play Youthant, which allows me to remove... Oh, I could play it as a command. I'm going to play it as a thing to take that card. There.
And you can place influence cubes in someone else's sphere of influence, right?
Yes.
Does that make sense? Otherwise, they wouldn't move. My turn?
Yes. Saying yes, though.
I'm going to play Strategic Balance over here. Place up to 2. I'm just going to play it for the...
You can't play it for the event. You're not the
USSR.
Right.
I'm just going to do that. Can I remove 1? Well, it doesn't matter.
You can remove 1.
I'm just going to place one on each.
Of those militaries. Makes sense. Okay, that's the game. So, then we do scoring.
Well, these go into our influence area, right?
No,
also
not yet.
Nuclear war.
Not yet. Okay, so battleground prestige. At the end of the game, you score 1 prestige for each battleground you dominate, 2 for Cuba. So I dominate, and tiebreakers are it's in your zone. So I dominate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then you have 4.
Oh, tiebreakers, it's in your zone?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that.
Even 0. So, you have 5.
Oh, I thought tiebreaker was the color.
Nope.
That's for the military?
Nope. Color has nothing to do with it.
Oh, then I misheard.
It's just the events. It's the sphere of influence that matters. So you have 5 and I have 7 going into that. Then we flip Cuba now, because it could be built military, and it also could cause me to have nuclear war, which it does. So that's great.
It's to the brink, which is fitting.
Very appropriate. So, the player who dominates the most military battlegrounds scores 1 additional prestige. I dominate 3, Steve dominates 2.
Oh, right.
So I get 1 additional prestige. So I'm at 8. This is so great for me. Then we do the aftermath. So we reveal the 2 leftover cards, and we count the number of influence cubes on the associated events on these 2 cards. The side with the highest total scores 1. So I have a 1 and you have a 1.
Just the number of cubes.
Yeah, as far as I can tell. So that doesn't do anything. And then if the 2 cards match their DEFCON symbol, you immediately place your card in your own sphere of influence. It may trigger nuclear war. If the 2 cards match their color DEFCON symbol, which they don't. Which is a shame, because you could have also caused nuclear war. Then, if the DEFCON symbol is in 3, if you have 3 or more DEFCON symbols of the same color in your own sphere of influence, you have triggered nuclear war and lost the game. If both players trigger, no one wins. If no one triggered, the player with the most prestige would have won. So, because Cuba ended up being nuclear military, I lost. I caused nuclear war. And it exploded. Which is interesting. So if that had been the case, it would have been 8-5, and I would have won. So there we go. If it hadn't been military, though, it would have potentially been 7-5 or 7-6.
No, it would have been 9-6, right? Because we each got 1 point from the card we flipped.
No, we don't get the points from those.
What do those go towards?
Those go towards the cubes. You count the cubes on them. You don't get any points for them. You only get points if the cube total on them is high. If it's the most. You don't get that prestige points.
But it was you get 1 point.
If
you're the highest.
Yes.
Got it. If it's tied, you don't. I understand.
And that's 13 minutes. We have to play again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to play again.
We have to play again.
I didn't quite understand the tiebreakers and stuff for scoring.
Yeah, it's the sphere of influence. The color of the card does not matter at all. The color of the card only matters when you're playing it in regards to the events. And whether or not who can trigger an event. Shunk. Shunk. I feel like you're missing some cubes. There. Oof. This was probably an avoidable nuclear war, maybe.
Count the number of influence cubes on US and USSR associated events on those 2 cards only. So I guess the UN cards don't count in your hand.
Yes, if you hold on to a UN card, it doesn't count.
Towards that bonus.
It doesn't matter if it's your card or if it's a US card. Or if it doesn't matter which faction the card is, as long as it's not a UN. Whoa!
Cool, okay.
Cuba totes Spark 4. Alright, let's try this again. It's kind of weird to do a 2-player stream. It's nice. It's been a long time since we've had just us.
Yeah, we've had a lot of special guests.
Yeah, which is funny because we have like What are we playing? We're playing Downforce on Thursday. But we don't have anybody to play with us yet, so...
I will say, I like how this kind of distills 13 minutes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I was skeptical that it would be similarly engaging. But actually, I'm liking this.
Great. Awful. Right, I'm ready. Who goes first?
You.
Me.
You.
Oh!
Back in the USSR. Don't know how lucky you are, boy.
Apparently. Cool. Great. Awesome. Sweet. Okay. Public protests. Move up to 2 battlegrounds between your own sphere of influence and the neutral zone, if any max. So you can take Cuba. That's all you can do. You can't take this.
Oh, I see.
Do you want Cuba? Hey, Vince.
Yeah, I want Cuba.
13 days is... I like 13 days. 13 days is... It feels like a boiled-down Twilight Struggle that's a lot more accessible.
It's not as epic feeling, but it's very intense. It's pretty intense.
Yeah, this one's extra zippy, as Kabuki says. I will place my 1 influence cube on Cuba. And then it's your turn.
Strategic balance. Place up to 2 influence cubes and up to 2 battlegrounds. I'm playing it here. The battlegrounds do not move towards the U.S. sphere of influence.
The USSR.
Do not move towards the USSR.
Great. I will place 1 here and 1 here.
Okay, and then I will place 3.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
1, 2, 3. Moving Cuba back to my sphere of influence. Oh, did you draw?
Uh-huh.
Okay, then
Okay. U2 photographs. You can place up to 1 cube on a battleground and move that card 1 step towards or away from your own sphere of influence.
I'm going to do public protests towards me.
Bob says that he's not used to seeing Steve's gloveless hands. That's indecent.
I mean, it's a way to tell which player is which. Just which one is wearing the gloves.
Yeah, I guess. Great, and then I have 2 command cubes. I'll do U2 photographs, and I will do strategic balance.
I'm going to quarantine Cuba. Place up to 3 influence cubes and up to 2 battlegrounds for the USSR. Currently has influence cubes.
Yeah, I caused nuclear winter netters. Sorry. Sorry, everyone.
I mean, maybe it was more like a nuclear autumn.
So happy it's autumn. But not the nuclear kind. I'm going to go ahead and play Containment. So I can place up to 3 cubes on areas that I already have influence. So I can do Cuba. And I can do public protests.
I think there was a U2 down. It might have been the one that was doing all that photographs. Move 1 battleground where the USSR currently has influence cubes to any sphere of influence or the neutral zone.
And then you get to place 2 cubes. Oh, we should let each out. Wow, Vince. Vince ordered 1,300 little wooden cubes. 50 10 millimeters.
Yeah, U2 protests.
See you, Nutters. I'll place Fidel Castro. So place 3. I'll place 1 here. Bring that back. And then I will place 1 here. Sliding that back. 2 there.
One thing I don't understand about the Aftermath Prestige.
Oh, wow. It's your turn.
It says, count the number of influence cubes on US and USSR associated events on those 2 leftover cards. The side with the highest total scores 1 additional prestige. Does that mean the player or the side on the card?
The side on the card would, I guess, make sense.
Yeah, so that means if I leave a USSR card in my hand at the end of the game.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
So I think it would be that. Because it says, it just said it didn't matter which player has which cards.
Yeah. Well, the last game, then, that doesn't change anything.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah.
But I'm going to play Moscow is Our Brain. You may place up to 4 influence cubes on up to 2 battlegrounds where the USSR player has no cubes.
Sorry,
you may place up to 4 influence cubes on up to 2 battlegrounds where the USSR player currently has no influence cubes. The USSR maintained a strong military and political control of Cuba throughout the crisis.
I mean, it's true, I have. Yeah, sure. I will do 1 there. And 1 there. Great.
I'm going to get public protest back because I have 3 on this.
I think they probably won't blow away unless your spray is really hefty. I mean, I use poster tack to, like, hold down miniatures so they don't blow away when I spray them.
No, we'll do 2 on Cuba.
Okay. I will do the MRBMs and IRBMs to remove 2 cubes, or remove up to 4 cubes from 2 locations, and then place them on other battlefields. So I will do that.
Wow.
And then I will do 1, 2, 3. What do we have here? 4 and 5?
Yeah.
5. Your turn.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to play To the Brink as an event. Move 1 battleground from either player's sphere of influence to the other player's.
Wow. what would you like from my sphere of influence? I think you take from my sphere of influence. One battleground from...
Oh, from either players to the other players.
Yeah, so you have to give me something. Great. Okay, so you're banking on Cuba being purple.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Okay. Sweet.
I am gambling on nuclear war starting.
Great, honey. Good job. Okay. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 points. You have
1,
2 points.
2. Oh, because that tie breaks on your sphere of influence.
Yep. What's the plus on that?
For the military bonus.
Oh, yes.
So I have 2 points.
Well, from here.
Yeah.
And then we flip Cuba. It's purple. Nuclear war happens.
50-50 chance.
Whoever dominates the most military background scores 1 additional. I dominate 1, 2, and Steve dominates 2.
1, 2, yeah.
So it doesn't matter. Then aftermath. I have a UN card.
I have a US 3.
Ooh, so you get a point for that.
So I'm at 3 points.
Yes. And then I blow up the world. Actually, no! Actually,
what?
They cause nuclear war. If the 2 cards match their DEFCON symbol, you immediately place your card in your own sphere of influence. So I guess that happened.
So it's double. Oh no, it's not double.
No, it's not
nuclear
double.
war.
And then I caused nuclear war again because of purple. Thanks, Steve. Cuba was purple. Cuba killed me again. But Steve gave me the thing that caused nuclear war. So really,
I did use it with playing the card To the Brink, which has handy dandy art. I always mess this up. Handy dandy art of a mushroom cloud. The chances of something going terribly wrong increased exponentially during mutual escalation.
Yep.
Which is exactly what happened. That was a lot of fun.
That was really good.
I might... We haven't played 13 Days in a while, but I might like this better than 13 Days.
I think I might like it too, yeah, tentatively. 13 Days is really good, and we liked it as, like, a quicker Twilight. But, like, it still takes a little while. So...
And this distills down a lot of some of the same things. There's the chance of going over the brink based on the card in your hand at the end of the game. There's the 2 sides. There's the battlegrounds shifting. There's the cube placing. There's the different events.
Yeah, I think, like...
Yeah. Gooey Kid says 0 minutes to midnight. Yep, the clock, the doomsday clock was 0 minutes to midnight. With that.
Yeah.
I did not expect to like that as much as I did.
Nor I. But there you go. Sometimes cubes happen.
Would you call this the Cuban Missile Crisis? If anybody wants to make a Euro game, Cuban Missile Crisis.
But that's our stream of 13 days, or sorry, 13 minutes.
Cube pushing to the brink.
Designed by, I've already forgotten. Designed by Daniel Pedersen and Asgeir Herding Granrud, who is also the designer of Flamme Rouge, which was our primary stream on this evening's stream. It's really interesting. I know why they make the box this big, because if you made the box the size that it needed to be, and just the size it needed to be, it would never sell, because it would just be way too small. But this is, like, unnecessarily large for this game. But, you know, it is what it is. They need them to have good shelf present.
It's not a 12 by 12.
Right.
I always feel like small box games tend to get forgotten at game stores anyway.
Yeah.
It's like there's a certain...
Like Microcosm, which we love, gets forgotten about all the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah. The Cuban Missile Crisis is one of the reasons we love Steve. Yep, it's true. Yep.
Right back at you, chat. You guys make this a lot of fun.
Yeah. I like, I do like... We haven't played Twilight Struggle in its entirety yet. Maybe that should be a weekend stream at some point.
We can leave it in the table.
We
Our
could.
way.
Ooh, we could just play it and leave it in the table.
The board might be a little big, but...
Yeah, which would be good. Speaking of the table, the video about the shelves that I made will be up soon. I realized I started making videos again, and I had this huge queue planned, and then I realized my queue is pretty good now. But the problem is if I want to have something and I want to push it, I have to push it early, which I shouldn't do. So the shelves video is done. If you're backing me on Patreon, I will early release them to Patreon as I finish them once a week, because then it makes sense to do that on Patreon and not necessarily release them to YouTube early. So if you are curious about the shelves, throw $1 my way. It really does genuinely help, especially considering all of Ichi's vet bills in the last couple of months. And then Abby's vet bill today. She had a deformed nail that was stuck and couldn't retract, and so I had to take her to the vet. And it was great. Speaking of Ichi, she's crying because we haven't let her out since. But anyway, there's that. My Patreon, if you're curious, is down in the doobly-doo. I don't charge for these streams because it was kind of weird when I charged for these streams, but I do charge for the other videos that I produce. So if you like those, go check out my Patreon. Seriously, dollars do help.
Yeah.
So Patreon, basically, you just, you go in and you sign up and you say, yes, I will back you for $1 or however much you want. And it's a reoccurring payment. And basically, whenever I make a video, I have the decision of charging my patrons or not. And depending on the video, I will charge or I won't charge. Some videos, I feel really weird about charging still, even though I've had a Patreon for 2 years. So, good job, Zena. Reviews I charge for, the how to paint streams I charge for, the shelf videos I charge for, the I charge for vlogs every day. The vlog at the con I charge for. Bonus videos at vlogs I don't really charge for. These streams I don't charge for. I charge for. So basically you go in and you say, yes, I will support Tiffany, $1 video, and then you can set a cap. This is only charge me $4 a month max. And then if I make 6 videos that month, you will only be charged up to your limit. The video description might still talk about Platinum Rouge. I updated it, but it doesn't really work. So the month is roughly I'm doing one Patreon video a month. So $4 or $5 a month. But you can actually set monthly caps if you're concerned about that. So there is that. So.
Yeah, and creators on Patreon can basically decide based on what they're making if they'd rather people support them monthly or per thing that they make.
Yeah, and I decided to have it be per thing that I make, because sometimes I have months when I go and I vlog, I go to Essen and I vlog. That's a lot of work crammed into a 2-day or a 12-day period. A lot of work. And so if I was charging monthly, it just wouldn't make sense. So, yeah. Sweet. Yeah, it's really weird. Sometimes the YouTube updates the cache on the titles for the videos, and sometimes it doesn't. I don't really know. Bonus streams are kind of tough that way. But I've gotten better about setting the thumbnail a day or so before, because that's how long it takes YouTube to catch up. So, yeah. Oh, thank you, Angela. Yeah, Kabuki Kid, I don't know why it doesn't update sometimes, but Patreon, yeah.
But one of the designers is correct.
Yeah, one of the design. Well, if I list the designer, yeah, the designer is correct.
Asger Grenrud.
So there we go. Coolies. I liked this.
That was a lot of fun. I
This
think
was a lot of fun.
that is definitely staying in the collection.
Well, I'm
that's
wondering
like
if it bumps 13 days out.
It might.
We'd have to play it again.
Yeah, I'd have to play 13 Days again, but it does so much of the same stuff
Yeah.
really well. Like less cards, obviously, but the powers are pretty tightly tuned.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like it. Coolies.
I'm curious
Alright.
if either of the designers are shared with 13 Days. Like if
Yes,
it's both that
yes.
did it or just one.
I think
or...
it's Daniel. Anyway, Thursday. The stream that we'll be doing on Thursday is Downforce. It's en route. It's en route to us now. It should arrive in time on Thursday. If it doesn't arrive in time on Thursday, we will play something else. Maybe Race for the Galaxy. I don't know.
Race week.
Yeah, Race week. Because it's the only other race game we have aside from the Portland one, which would be a lot of fun. But yeah, so Thursday, Downforce from Restoration Games is on the agenda. And then, yeah, that's all we kind of have planned so far right now. But interesting. Kabuki Kid says that they played 13 days and 13 minutes back to back and then kept both.
They're good games.
They are good
There's
games.
no reason you have to keep one or the other. I am very excited that this might be a like throw in the bag on the way out game.
Yeah, because we definitely don't have enough of those.
But especially like only being 13 cards, you can start learning the cards and learn the meta a little bit. Like the deck's small enough that you
And
can
card count like you did.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Don't know. Yep.
But there are 5 military cards, 4 purple and 4 green.
Did you look that up or did you count it?
No, I counted it. I thought there were only 4 military, but then at the end, this last game, I realized there were 5.
I did not count. You're a jerk. Okay.
And then suddenly we're keeping 13 days, but not 13.
Thank
No,
you
it's a
for
lot of fun.
playing, or thank you for watching and hanging out with us, especially if you're live. If you're not live, you should come in and hang out with us sometimes. It's a lot of fun. Otherwise, we will see you all on Thursday for Downforce from Restoration Games, sponsored by Restoration Games, if the game gets here in time. So there's that. But now we are going to put some slightly warmer clothes on, and I think we're going to take the dogs for a spin.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Have a good rest of your night, and we'll see you Thursday. Night, Internet.
All right. Good night. Thanks for watching.